Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lillian. In this video I'll be showing you how I made this boubou with an Ankara. This has been trending, so I decided to make my own by designing it with an Ankara. Now this is the fabric I'm going to be using to make it, and I'm going to show you how it was folded. Okay, and now this is a cut together shoulder. Okay, and the width of this boubou is my body circumference and also the full length of my sleeve together. Now I will fold the fabric into two and then fold it again. You can see what I'm explaining here. I'm also showing it here. So now we have gotten how to fold it. The next thing we are going to do is to measure our body measurement. I'm going to mark my bust measurement first. Now I'm going to go ahead and mark my bust. My bust is 10 inches. And after marking it, I'm going to mark my under bust. Although this under bust is not really necessary, you can skip it. Now I'm going to repeat the same thing on this side in order to get an accurate line. All right, and I also marked my full length of the gown. The full length is 50 with the hemming allowance. And after that, I'm going to mark my shoulder. My shoulder is 8 inches. Okay. And then from this point I made, which is 8 inches, my shoulder, I'm going to mark my sleeve from there. If you want your sleeve to be short or long, it is your choice. Then from that point I marked 16 inches for my sleeve. Okay, you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to show you where I marked it. You can see where I marked the 16 inches. And then from this end, from this point, I'm going to mark how wide I want the sleeve to be. That is the open where my hand will pass through. So I marked 10 inches. Okay, if you want to go below that, it is your choice. All right, and then I'm going to extend this line to this point, and then I came in by 1.5 inch to make a curve there. You know, that is where our armhole will stop. So I'm going to make a curve there so it doesn't look straight. Then I'm going to show you when you are marking this line is going to stop at the end of this gown. Make sure it's straight, don't make it curvy. Make sure it's straight from the armhole down to the full length of this gown. And then from this side I'm going to go out by 1.5 inch for the hemming allowance of this sleeve. Okay, and then I'm going to connect it as shown. Now we've gotten this, we are going to go back to the center, which is where our neck will be. Then I will go in by 3 inches for my neck width. And then for my neck depth, I'm going to mark 7 inches for my neck depth. I don't want it to be too deep. Now I will mark 7 inches. This is for my front depth. Okay, for my back is 10 inches. Okay, for the depth. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and use my ruler to mark it. Although the camera did not capture the back depth when I was marking it, it's just the same way I marked the front. Just I extended my hand down to mark the 10 inches. And this is the flare that I'm going to use to design the dress, the one you saw on the picture. And this fabric was the remaining of the fabric I used when I was making the built-up neckline. It's on my channel. If you want to learn how to make a built-up neckline, you can go to my channel and watch it. All right, and this is a flare, and you can see the length of this flare is 7.5 inch. Okay, now I'm going to open it to show you. You can see it's flare. Now I am going to drop it so we can continue from where we stopped. Now I'm going to cut out the front neckline. I'm going to cut the two together. This is the front and back we are cutting together So the next thing that I am going to do, you have to cut out the front first before cutting the back. So I cut out the front first. So I'm going to make a notch on this shoulder line. Please make a notch on the shoulder line to indicate where your shoulder is, okay? Now we've done that, I am going to go ahead and cut all these areas that I do not need, and then come back and cut the back neck depth. Now I'm going to show you this. You can see from this armhole I came down by 1 inch. You can see it. All right, I didn't use the first one I marked, so I came down by 1 inch from that end and then made a curve there using my chalk, okay, and then continue my cutting. Make sure your hand is straight when you are cutting it, okay? So this is it after cutting it. Now I am going to go back to the center so we can cut out our back neck depth. Please watch closely to see how I am going to cut the neck depth, because the camera didn't capture it very well here. Now I am going to pick the one on top. I'm going to use that one for my back. So I am going to cut it from the 10 inches I came down to. I didn't touch the width, okay? I just cut it straight the way I cut the front. I just extended my hand down. Now this is my front and this is my back, okay? Now I am going to open it to show you how the neckline is looking. You can see the back is longer than the front if you watch closely. Now I am going to mark this my shoulder again. Just don't make mistake on this. Your shoulder is very important, because this is a cut together shoulder. The shoulder is not cut separately, it is cut together, okay? So you can see it. I made a notch and also wrote a line there to indicate where it is, and this is the armhole area. You can see the curve. I am going to open it this way to show you. Arrange it properly, okay? You can see the back neckline is deeper than the front neckline. This is what I was trying to explain earlier. The back is deeper, the front is shorter. So from the shoulder line, I am going to go in by 1.5 inch for the rope at the back, okay? This is how you get it. And also this is how you can get the width of this of the rope at the back. You can see the way I folded it. So that is also the way you can as well measure your own before cutting it, okay? Use this pattern and measure it and then cut how long the rope will be. So this is the flare, and this is how you are going to design it on the neckline. From the back neckline to the front neckline, you can see it. All right, I'm just trying to show you this, although when we are sewing it, I'm going to show you more on how to make it. And now this is how you arrange it, okay? Although this flare stopped at 10 inches, that is if you measure from the neck point where my hand is to the place you want the flare to stop. Okay, after arranging it, I will go to my sewing machine and show you more on how it was done. Now this is the front. The front is facing up while the wrong side is facing the main fabric. Now I am going to go ahead and make a notch on this neckline. This will help your neckline to sit properly. That is the piping. It's going to help it to sit properly, okay? Now I've done it at the back. This is the back neckline. I'm going to use my scissors to make a notch there to open it a little bit. You can see by 1/2 inch. You can see it. If you do it this way, this is how it's going to look. So I'm going to repeat the same thing on the front side as well. Now I am going to place this. Before you do that, make sure you weave the rough edges, okay? and this is it. Place it, go ahead and sew it from the back neckline to the front. When you get to the front, make sure you fold it. When you get to the point, that is the center of the neckline, the front neckline, fold it by pushing this rough edge inside so it doesn't look rough. Okay, then go ahead and sew. Now I'm going to show you how it's looking, and the rough edge, you can see this was pushed inside. You can see it. Okay, this is how it's going to look. Now this is the bias we are going to use. Is from the main fabric. Okay, this is 2 inches and it was folded by half an inch, and then fold together. You can see it. Now we have gotten this bias. I am going to fold it this way. You can see it, and then you can only achieve this by using iron. Okay, now I am going to push out about half an inch or 1 inch. Okay, and then use it to cover these rough edges. Before you do that, make sure there is allowance out before you go ahead and cover the neckline with the bias, and then use your pin and hold it down. This is how I got this area. You can see it. You can see how it's looking smooth. So I'm going to continue doing this. Okay, all right, I will do it all round. Okay, I've done that all around. Okay, now from this place, what I'm going to do is to fold it and then cover this area. You can see where the point is. That is the center of the center of the back. This is back, the center of the back neckline. I'm going to push this inside, then use my pin and hold it down as well. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to use this and cover it. I'm going to use it and cover this one. Before you do that, make sure you fold it half an inch, the rough edge, fold it half an inch inside. Use it and cover the one underneath. Okay, make sure is arranged properly. Okay, when you are doing this, make sure you're also shaking the inner side. Okay, if you are finding this pattern difficult, you can just measure your round neckline, whatever it gives you, measure your bias, and then join the edge of the bias together. The next thing you are going to do is to use it and pipe the neckline. You're not going to be, folding it like the way I'm folding it right now, pushing it. Okay, just join the bias together, use it and sew it all around. Just make sure you measure your round neckline and use it and cut out the bias. Okay, so it will give you an accurate measurement. Now what I'm going to do next is to use one of the neckline to lap each other. You can see what I have done there. I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other side so you can see, you can understand what I'm trying to explain there. Okay, this is the front and this is the back. I'm going to repeat the same thing there. So I'm going to use one, just a little, about half or quarter of an inch. Use it and lap each other. You can see it because I want this V neckline to come out very well. Then use your machine and sew it. So I've done that. You can see how it's looking. You can see it. Now what I am going to do next is to measure my neckline. From the front, I'm going to measure 7.5 inch. Okay, I'm going to do the same in both sides of the neckline. So I'm going to mark 7 inches, 7.5, and I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other side. I'm trying to make it more visible. So I'm going to repeat the same thing on this side as well. Okay. Now that I've done that, from that point, I'm going to mark 1.5 inch. This 1.5 inch is where our the rope at the back is going to be. So 1.5 inch is where I am going to be placing this rope. So I repeated the same thing on this side. You can see this is the rope that I'm going to be using. I've already turned it to the right side, although I joined it together from the wrong side, then turn it from this open. Now this open, I'm going to push it inside by 1/2 inch. Okay, you can see what I'm doing. I want to use my my scissors to push it. This is about 1 inch. Okay, all right, but when you are cutting, it should be 1.5, because you're going to join it from the wrong side before turning it to the right side. Okay, and the length is 8 inches. You can see it. So now we've gotten this. The next thing I am going to do is to place it on that line that I marked. But before I do that, I'm going to open this seam, because we are going to push this inside. We're not going to place it on top, because if we do that, it's going to look rough. So we are going to open this seam and then push it inside. You can see what I am doing there. Push it inside and then go back and sew it. Just watch how I am doing it. You can see how I am sewing it. You have to push it inside. I repeated the same thing on the other side. You can see how it's looking. So when you are done doing this, just use your iron and iron it properly to give you what you want. Okay, so the next step right now is for us to start pleating this area. You remember I told you have to push it inside by 1/2 inch when you get to the center of this neckline. If you don't do that, it will look rough. Okay, I don't have a weaving machine. I would have weaved it that area. Okay, now I am going to make this line more visible. You remember this line, this is where we are going to be gathering the flare. Okay, this line from the neck line, it stopped at 10 inches. I stopped at 10 inches from the neckline. But before we do that, I am going to pipe this down part using the same fabric. You can see I piped it using this in a bias form. Okay, now I've done that. You can see it. If you turn it to the right side, it won't be showing, but if you turn it to the wrong side, it will be showing this main fabric. Now I am going to start pleating. So I'm going to use the line I marked earlier as a guide. So I'm going to start. This is it. Just use the line as a guide so you don't make mistake. So I'm going to continue pleating until I stop at the 10 inches. I stop at 10 inches. This side is pleated. Okay, you can see from this neckline where the neckline stopped, I pleated it. Now I am going to use this bias to cover this area to give it a style. I don't want it to look plain like that, so I'm going to use this to design there. So I will use it and cover the areas. So I've gone ahead to do that. This is how it is looking. Then this is the armhole. Just go ahead and fold your armhole and then join the sides and hem the length of the gown. So after that, this is the final look of this gown. Tell me what you think on the comment section. If this video is helpful, do not forget to subscribe, like and share. Thank you. Bye.